Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We will just wait for a few people to come on. But good evening. I am Medium Joe. I am your medium for this evening. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Just chuckling away there because I've got Richard in my ear telling me that we're live. So for those who haven't seen before, I'm Joe. I've been doing this for 20 years. Been on this platform a few times now. So just thank you to Richard for setting the time aside on a Saturday evening and conveying these. I really appreciate that. We're going to go directly to people this evening. Whenever we do this work, it's always an experiment. Okay, so it's about being open, it's about being evidential. If you pop your name on, I will be drawn to those names. Okay, please do not put in the comments who you want me to communicate with, because I'd rather spend the hour being completely wrong than going off information that I've been fed. Okay, just a little bit about myself. I am Medium Joe. I've raised about £20,000 for charity through my mediumship in the last sort of 5 to 7 years back in the COVID era. So I'm really proud of that. Yeah, I'm just very, very lucky with that, and work with Northampton University at times as well in the study of psychic research. So, Richard, how long do we say hello to some people? You want me to say hello to some people this evening? Okay, so we'll rattle through these. So we've got Margaret Thompson. Hi, good evening, Margaret from Glasgow. Amazing. Was in Edinburgh recently. Beautiful part of the world, Scotland. And then we've got Millie B as well. Okay. Hi, good evening, Millie, and thank you on YouTube. Amazing, absolutely amazing. And good evening, Terry, as well. Thank you ever so much for joining. I really, really appreciate that as well. Fantastic. Let's pop some. And Cheryl, I will not try to pronounce your last name, Cheryl. Apologies, but hi, good evening, sweet. Thank you for joining as well. Again on YouTube. And I didn't quite catch that name, and it's just popped away. Richard, apologies. I wait for it to pop up. It was Stacey. Hi, good evening, Stacey. Glad you can join us as well. And let me know where you're coming from, guys. And Tony Wright as well. Hi, blessings. Good evening, sweet. Lovely for you to join us as well. And we've got Nadia as well. Hi, Nadia. Good evening. That's waiting for these to pop up. I've got my Grimsby Town mug as well, which is the team I follow and where I'm from, guys. And Christy, hi, good evening. Lovely. Thank you for joining us. We're back in the Football League, which is amazing. Just saying. Perfect. And we've got Natalie Bentley as well. And Natalie, just I can see you've got a picture of this queen there, and I just wanted to just send my condolences. Such a sad time, but I think it's amazing that love conveyed by the whole country in such a sad time. So just blessings to her, such a charismatic lady. Perfect. So good evening, Natalie. Okay, so and we've got Jessica that pops up there as well. And we'll just say a couple of more, Rich, and then we'll just get into the swing of it, if that's okay. So just say one or two more. So just whilst we explain this, whilst waiting for these next couple to come up. Hi, Eva. Thank you so much for joining, sweet, from Sweden. Amazing. I will be drawn to names throughout the evening, okay? So Donna, good evening. Please just say hello. Please say, pop some comments on. Please don't tell me who you want to speak to in the comments. It's always an experiment. It's as much about my energy as it is about your collective energy as well. So if you haven't seen me before, let's go through this. Good evening, Yvette, and let's just have a good evening. Let's get cracked on. So, Richard, let's get some names and some comments popped up, and let's see how many people we can rattle through this evening, because I'm feeling positive. Perfect. That's fine. Right, we're going to go to Findy Murphy, if that's all right. So if we can speak Turkish is the name that's first popped up, okay? So Finn, I've got these quite interesting individuals stepping around you. We're just going to go to mum's side of the family first. I'm going to bring through your grandmother first, if that's all right. And then we're also going to bring through your grandfather on dad's side of the family as well. But Finn, there's a male, that comes and stands next to him, puts his arm around you, okay? So when they stand next to that, tends to be contemporary. It's either brother, sister, cousin, friend. This chap's like a brother or a friend connection, because I want me to reference that with him. I don't think it's son. I think it's reference to a friend, a brother connection. They say the name Stephen to me as well, and that's the other reference that they make to me, okay? Then I also want to talk about, that's fine, we'll talk about it in a moment. Quite an interesting chap as he's coming forward. He kind of feels like he's got this leather jacket. There's like a bike leather jacket on, which is quite interesting. I don't feel bikes with him, but I feel that connection around that that's fine, around that jacket. He also wants me to reference that the man that had problems with alcohol as well. I'll go back on dad's side of the family, and we'll draw on that in one moment. But Finn, I need you to let me know if this is making sense to you, sweet, and we'll just wait for those comments to pop up, because it's that male that predominantly steps forward. interestingly, there's this other energy that steps forward that feels like this kind of mother connection that's making what's wanting to be brought through as well, because you feel that flow. And the reference to that, so if that's not one of the references, that's fine, about a recent anniversary, very, very recent anniversary, or very, very recent past, there's something about that that's really significant in that context, okay? So then so many spirit people around you, and I really cannot get away from this sense that there's been a really, really recent loss. So I'm not talking about last year, I'm talking about very, very recently. And I can't kind of work out who those, but just that sense about that loss and that grieving process that they want me to acknowledge, okay? They also want to talk to me about this, talk to me about Patrick as well. Oh, interesting. Talk to me about Patrick. So they want me to convey that to you as well, okay? So I think that's in spirit as well, because there's this other male energy that's stepping forward behind us. So they want me to acknowledge that as well. And we can talk about that as well. They talk to me about the 3rd of December as well. And they say, mention the 3rd, mention the 3rd. And she keeps saying that to me over and over again. And just so many. How interesting. I couldn't remember saying the name Stephen, but I'm sure I said it in my head. So for someone here, that's perfect. That's fine. So all these different energies that are stepping forward, sweet, just very, very charismatic people. They're laughing about someone being in the pub today. So someone's been to the pub for lunch and they've had like a half a lager, and they're saying that they've been with us when they've been there as well. Okay, that's fine. And I love this idea of going to Lake District as well. So either you've just been or there's plans to go, but there's that reference there as well. So Ben, I'll leave their love with you and just say God bless. And Richard, let's get cracking with the next comments, please, sir. All right, okay. And people are asking me so much. I apologise. Sorry, I do rant a little bit. Can people hear me all right, Richard? Because I'm conscious. Right, okay. Right, okay. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. I do talk quite quick. Apologies, guys. Okay, yeah, so let's get some more comments up then, please, Richard. Okay. Can we'll go to Beverly Taylor if that's okay, because that's the other name that kind of pops out as we're talking to me. So just want to connect with Beverly if that's okay. So as I'm making that connection with I want to talk about Dad's side of the family. So there's a father figure that wants to be acknowledged straight away that I want me to talk about. Okay, that's fine. They also talk to me about giving healing to someone at the moment who's got problems with their knees and joints, particularly in their knees and legs. I feel like I just need to get this healing energy out as they're talking to me. That's fine. And Beverly, would you understand that there's reference to a sun being in spirit? Now, I don't feel that connection, but someone just said to me, I can't remember how they mentioned it, but it's almost like the feather was from the sun. So there's this reference to this younger male that they want me to pick up on. I don't feel him directly, but there's that sense of that's around me, okay? That's fine. And there's also this Frank off bread connection that they want me to mention, not with that younger person, but as we go back to Dad's side of the family, okay? But there's lots of spirit personalities around you, which I find quite interesting. So they talk to me about these plans for, certainly, I think a younger female in the family looking in the process of moving house. So it's that we're in the process of selling and we're looking to move on, because they want me to acknowledge that reference there as well. So Beverly, can you let me know if this is making sense to you as we continue through, please? That's fine. Just say that to me again. That's fine. And I just want to acknowledge grandmother on mum's side of the family. She steps forward. And as you mentioned my hair, she's kind of sat there doing that with her hair as well. So she's quite a proud lady as well. Okay. She references about these connections to London. So someone's got plans to go to London, or someone's got these plans to go that way on, because they want me to acknowledge that for like this plan for the weekend as a talk to me. Okay. Excellent. That's fine. I would imagine, and again, there's this connection about this younger male in spirit, but they talk to me about having these ladies' rings. Now, there's always a prompt for me to talk about mum that would be in spirit as well, okay? And they talk to me about Mary that would be symbolic with that as well. So they want me to acknowledge that as well, okay? Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So sweet. That's kind of everything that I wanted to say to you. Whether it was Brenda or Barbara, there's this BR sounding name, and I can't quite catch it, but they want me to acknowledge that as well. And there's reference to Navy connections as well. And forgive me, I don't know where that is, because I was just about to say I'll move on, but they've just taken what looks like a Navy cap off for reference to someone that would be in spirit in that way. Okay, I think that's back on mum's side of the family. So Beverly, I'm going to leave their love with you, sweet, and just say God bless. Okay, so Richard, if we could please go on to the next comment. Fine. Hope everyone's enjoying this evening. I absolutely love coming on SPTV. It's so different. I love the idea that I can't see people's faces or names. It's just names, and it's just that reference to be able to work in a very different way. So it's more of a challenge, and I find that really, really positive. That's fine. Okay, so where are we going to go next? Okay. Okay, fine. We'll get to Lynn Taylor if that's all right. Hi guys, you'll see me shiver as we go through this evening. They never ever used to do that, and I don't know why they do it. In fact, I do know why they do it, and we'll explain why in a little bit. So if you see me squirming, I apologise. Len, hi, sweet. Can we talk to you? We're going to talk about the males in spirit around you. We're going to bring through Father first because he's the main one that steps forward. There's this other male that's kind of stood near you, and I'm a little bit unsure about who he is, so I'm going to explain him differently. We're just going to start with Dad stepping forward, okay? I can hear him breathing as he stands behind me, and he just instantly just says, John, mention John, mention John. And he keeps bringing that through over and over again, okay? He places his hand on the top of your chest here, and it's to symbolize giving you healing, and it's symbolized giving you, it's around anxiety. So it's the person that's got the anxiety and it's having the fluttering experience in the chest, because he wants me to convey that to you as well, okay? And certainly, and we'll talk to you in a moment there, but there's certainly this really strong smell of cigarette smoke around you. Now, I don't think that's with Dad. I think this with this other male that we'll talk to in a minute, okay? But sweet, as we step forward, I've got this lady that's coming to stroke your face. Now, when they do that, hello, you. I don't know if that's Jane or Jean, I didn't quite catch that, but they talked to me about this reference to this lady figure. So there's that name significant somehow, but there's also this connection to a mum figure that would be in spirit as well, then, because they want me to acknowledge that reference there as well. So Lynn, I need to know if this is making sense to you. So if you can pop in the comments if you can, sweet, that if this is making sense to you. But I just had a lady that's just come and stood near you, and I didn't quite catch who she was, but it just threw me a little bit. However, I also wanted to acknowledge this connection about this other male that was kind of stood to the side of you, and stood directly opposite in your mind. So I wonder, then, would you understand about having a husband in spirit? Because there's this sense about this male who's quite a dominant energy that's just kind of just stood there, that just wants to be acknowledged. And I think he's the one that was probably the smoker. And he's talking about holidays away with you. He's talking about either you've recently gone abroad and he's gone there in spirit with you, or the really strong memory links. That's fine. I'll talk about that in a moment, mate. It's he talks about that that acknowledgement to that reference there about holiday. Sorry, someone's just got my attention with these. I don't know. I'll explain this one or two ways. Either someone used to have greyhounds or raised greyhounds in the family, or someone's had issues where they do, is it lurchers on the back fields where they chase hares, and they've recently watched that. Okay, and that's fine. So there'd be that connection there as well. Honestly, and there's so many different spirit personalities around you that are just stepping forward, and I just want to, and thank you for confirming that, sweet. I'm going to explain who this other lady was because she threw me a little bit. I don't know if you've got a very close female friend that's in spirit who was a twin, or there's someone that was a twin in the family and one of them's still living and one's in spirit. I just couldn't quite figure that out, but just interesting how the step forward. Your husband, when I say he wants to say sorry, it's about, well, if I was to say he was stubborn, that's a strong word, and I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean it in like he's quite a strong sort of stoic individual, and he's quite sort of stuck in his ways. That's probably the best way to describe it. And he comes through with that energy. He knows that you care for him. I need you to know he can breathe by himself again. You just know his chest doesn't hurt either. Okay. So Lynn, I'm going to leave all of their love with you, and whoever you saw in your house, whether that be that lady or your son, whoever you physically saw walk through your house, that was genuine, okay? So it wasn't your imagination. So sweet, I'm going to leave, and they just talk about Albert as well. So I'm going to leave their love with you, sweet, and just say God bless. So Richard, please, if we can go on to the next person, if that's all right. Okay, that's fine. So Gary's one of my mates. Thank you so much, Gary, for watching. Shame about being a Leeds fan. Unfortunate. Okay, that's fine. So let's keep going through. So we shall go next to it was Maddie wanted that just popped up. Maddie Sales. Can we just speak to yourself, sweet, if that's all right? So Maddie is making that connection straight away very, very different energies around you. We will talk to you in a minute, but if that's okay, and give you some names as well. That's right. That's fine. Manny, there's this sense about the psychic stuff happening around you, this psychic phenomena that's occurring around you quite a lot. Okay, so there's been odd things happen within our home environment, and there's been this sense as well that we're starting to pick up on energies, or if we already do that, that's becoming stronger in that sense. Okay, the other thing that I want to talk to you about as well, Manny, is I'm making that connection with you, is to talk to me about the I'm going to use the word that they use because I think it's quite important. And again, it's in a rude or derogatory sense, but they talk about the drama that's been going on around us recently, and they use that word. Now, I could break that down, and I'm going to break that down with you, but that's about interpersonal relationships. That's about people around us causing issues for us because they want me to acknowledge that with you. And they talk about having to be resilient. They talk about having to be, that's fine, I'll talk about that in a minute. They talk to me about having to stand on our own 2 feet. Okay, I do want to talk about this male that steps forward that feels like a grandfather figure on mum's side that wants to be acknowledged as well. Okay, and he just says to me, it's like we almost need to lift her up and guide her and give her that strength at the moment as well. Okay, the other thing that I want to say to you as well, either it's yourself that plays with tarot cards, or there's that reference to someone in the family that goes back that plays tarot cards, that used to play with tarot cards, but they talk about that connection there as well. So, Maddie, I need to know if that's making sense to you as we continue, because I've got a couple of things going on around you at the moment that I just want to acknowledge. Just bear with me. That's fine. I'll talk about that. Sweet. I've got a male that steps forward that feels like an energy, a friend connection or ex-partner connection, and he says to me, "Will you tell her that I'm?" It's a male that took his own life. That's what he wants me to acknowledge. And I think his accent, I think he passed it, he completed suicide button because I can feel that energy around me as they're communicating with me. Okay. He's the first energy that really stepped forward in my mind. Interestingly, it smells of cannabis. So either there's people around you that smokes a couple of cannabis, or there's reference to him that would smoke that as well. Okay. Yep. And there's just these other energies that just keep stepping forward around you. I don't think mum's in spirit, and I don't think you've got an auntie in spirit on mum's side, but certainly there's this female energy that steps forward that connects in that sort of manner. And I'm struggling to get hold of her, but it's this grandfather figure and this younger male that they want me to acknowledge with you. Okay. They know about the person that's had, so this isn't going to happen. This has already happened, and they didn't pass from it, but they talk about the male that would connect with you some way that had a bad accident in a car but survived. As random as that is, that's a memory link, whether that be that chap that made a decision to take his own life, or some other reference as well. Okay, so there's quite a lot of energies going on around you, and I'm really excited about the future. I'm really excited about this. Just this change of energy is quite interesting, just very full on, very dynamic, very kind of interesting energy. So sweet. I'll leave that with you if that's okay, and just say God bless. So, guys, just whilst we're talking about this, I recently went to a festival, and part of that festival was lots of people talking about mental health and stuff. So I have a page that's on Facebook called Medium Joe, and I think hopefully Richard will put it in the comments. But it's all one word. It's a page that you like. We talk a lot on there about mental health and about emotional well-being, and this idea about cultivating happiness and understanding about developing a life that's worth living. So a couple of things. A, please follow my page. And also as well, if you're struggling with your mental health, honestly, there's loads of support out there for people. I know sometimes it feels lonely. I get that it's a struggle. Sometimes it just takes that extra step just to reach out. Okay, so please, if you are struggling, there is people out there that will help. So Richard, please, if we may go on to the next comments, I would really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Okay. Let's see who we're drawn to. Can we go to Mel Ridds, if that's okay? Can we speak to Mel Ridds? I think I'm with her. I'll talk to you in a minute, mate. I honestly don't know who you are. Okay. So we're gonna make this connection with you, and I'll explain why while I'm trickling to myself in one moment. So I just want to start with these grandparents that are stepping forward, and particularly interestingly on Dad's side of the family, Hello, mate. So we must have on dad's side of family, there must be an uncle figure that they want me to acknowledge because they talk about this male that's walking into the room. But they also talk to me as well about this mum figure that's in spirit as well. So we're just going to work with this if that's all right, Mel. So there must be mum in spirit, and there must be an uncle spirit, an uncle figure on dad's side that's in spirit as well, because they want me to acknowledge that reference there. So just as we're going through, just pop those comments on, just to let me know if that's okay. The reason I'm smiling, Mel, is it wouldn't surprise me at all if you are a medium yourself. So there's just this acknowledgement that I don't even know how they show me that, but it just makes me chuckle every time. But they acknowledge this reference, this really strong mediumistic sense with yourself as well. Okay, I do know spirit have been trying to get your attention quite a lot recently, so they'll be doing this. Like it'll be like turning your kettle and stuff like that, and bringing feathers through for you as well. So they want me to acknowledge that reference as well. And hi, mate, how are you? Good to talk to you. And Mel, dad must be spirit side as well, because they want me to just hold me if you want me. I don't know who you are, mate. So I don't think you connect with her, do you? So sorry about that, Mel. So we would have to acknowledge that there's mother figure, there's dad figure, and there's also this uncle figure in spirit. So would you understand that, please, sweet? Okay. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So they also talk to me as well about, and they keep saying to me, happy birthday, Mel, happy birthday. They keep saying that to me over and over again. So they acknowledge that reference of birthday that's at the moment as well. Okay, that's fine. Okay. That's fine. I'll put her name down. Sorry, Mel, I've got someone chatting away with me that's trying to get my attention to speak to someone. So Mel, you would have to understand that these uncle figures in this mum and this dad. So if that doesn't make sense to you, then I'm wrong, and I'm okay with that being wrong. But I just wanted to acknowledge that with you. It's this sense of around all these different spirit personalities trying to continue and get your attention and watching what's going on in the family as well. They talk about the person that's recently had healing for cancer as well. So they give me that reference there. So again, that's not something that's happening. That's something that has happened, and they've had treatment for it, because they want me to reference that as well. So Mel, I'm going to leave their love with you if that's okay. And I'm just going to say God bless it. And I don't know, Richard, if any of that made sense to that lady, but if you can let me know in my ears, and I'll just let other people know as well. Okay, perfect. But if we can go on to the next comment, if that's okay. I just whilst we're looking at this, whilst waiting to see who else we can link with, I know we're going to go directly to people this evening, and that's absolutely fine. I've got this male here with me who tells me that he passed in a car accident, and his name, I don't know if his name is James and his dad's called Michael, or his name's Michael and his dad's called James. But if that and those two, all three of those things have to make sense. As a younger male, so if that makes sense to anyone, you can pop that in the comments. And I just can't get rid of him. It's not that I don't want to get rid of him, but and he talks about the name Linda. I think it's Linda. He talks about Linda as well. I think it's Linda who he wants to speak to. So if that does make sense to Linda here, can you let me know, please? That's fine. Right, let's keep going through this. Oh dear. Right, okay. Do you understand this Michael connection in spirit then? Who did he pass in an accident then, Richard? Right, okay, that's fine. I'll maybe talk to you afterwards then if that's okay. Where's the Linda connection, Richard? Right, okay, that's fine. We'll chat about this guy afterwards if that's all right. He's just been trying to get my attention for ages. I just couldn't get rid of him, so I apologise. Anyway, so let's go back to these comments if that's okay. How interesting. That's fine. We will that's fine. Yeah, let's keep going. We'll go to Charlotte if that's okay. That's fine. Perfect. Honestly, it's so weird that energy, it's kind of gone now, so that would make sense. Hi, Charlotte. Can we speak to you, please, sweet, if that's okay? It's your grandmother that's stepping forward on mum's side of the family first. She just really, really strongly just steps in, and she's constantly looking over my shoulder. Now, when I look over my shoulder, that's always a reference to knowing that either a child has just been born or one is very, very much on the way in the family, because I can feel the sense about looking over this child and this excitement that's happening around me. Okay, so sweet, there has to be that real significance with that. Oh, you've spent the day with a child, this newborn child, but I can just see this child in this cot, and I can just see her just literally just so excited about that connection with that. Okay, so it's that energy that steps forward. She says to me that lilies, excuse me, she says lilies are really significant and important for a lady that's in spirit as well. And I don't think that's her. I think that's a connection to someone else that would want me to reference. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Now, Charlotte, as we go through this suite, they've just brought a male that into the room that comes and stands next to me. So apologies for not knowing which one. And I think I'm going to go with the latter. I don't think you've got husband in spirit, but I wonder if husband's got a brother or very close friend in spirit, because there's reference, there's connection for this male that comes and stands next to me. I don't think it's brother for you. I think it's more on partner's side of the family. And he says interestingly about the person that's had the heart problems recently. So he talks about giving healing to or understanding that we know about this person that's had issues with the heart recently and been having checks on that as well. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Bless, I just want to talk about your grandfather, just as we're waiting for those comments to come back through, but your grandfather on mum's side of the family wanting to be acknowledged as well. You can see him working away with this wood in the background as well. So either there's furniture in the family that he made, or that's reference to what he used to do going back in the family as well. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I will say that in a minute, mate. So they want me to make that connection there as well. So Charlotte, I don't know if that is making sense to you as we just continue through with this. But Charlotte, would you understand that we've got mum at the spirit side as well? Because they talked to me about this other energy that's just stepping forward, just really close to me in my mind, who just keeps stepping in and stepping out, just stepping in and stepping out, okay? And she's commenting quite interestingly on the plants in someone's house. She's jestfully criticizing how someone's looking after these plants or these flowers, and that it looks more like plants and flowers, but she wants me to acknowledge that reference there as well. She just says to me, you know what, everything's going to be all right. So for me, that's always reference to MRIs that they'd want me to acknowledge as well, so she knows about these physical health issues that someone's going through as well. Now, is that a last name or a first name, sweet? She also says to me about the name Gordon as well, but I think that's a last name. So Gordon, is that what that would be? That's absolutely fine. So Richard, is there any comments going through from that lady? Okay, so Charlotte, we're going to leave that with you if that's okay. It is about this child, honestly. There's just something about this energy about this child that is so important, and they're just so excited about this kid that's either here or on the way. So we'll leave that with you if that's all right, Charlotte, and we'll just say God bless, and we'll move on to the next individual if that's all right. Or are we off for a break now, Richard? When do we do the break? Is it now or at 22? Yeah, can we do it now if that's all right, please, sir? Okay, we're back in 2 minutes, guys.
Are you planning a paid spiritual event or looking for something to do this weekend? Then visit myspiritualevents.com. You can browse the listing, view the event details, watch a YouTube clip, look at a mini gallery, select dates and times, pay for tickets using PayPal or your debit card. Organizers can register for free and start selling tickets within minutes, be it for their online or in-person spiritual event. As an organizer, you will have access to your own admin dashboard, which will display information such as your income and your bookings, all in a simple and user-friendly display. It's free to use. Join and upgrade to an organizer. Come and visit us at myspiritualevents.com.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium, or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Hi guys, thank you. I just briefly given Richard a message in the break there, which is a bit unexpected. However, we will continue if that's all right. So, did Charlotte come through with any other comments? And just whilst waiting for that, guys. No, that's fine. So we can go through to the next ones. Thank you ever so much, guys. I hope you're enjoying this evening. Richard's put the link to my page online. Please check it. Away from this, I do private readings. It don't make sense. I don't charge. I'm not here to party about. You'll find very quickly when I do them. If I don't make sense, I'll just be really upfront and honest with you. Okay, that's fine. So we're just going to continue if that's all right, and just go through. So let's put through some comments. Let's just see. Let's see what's coming through, and let's see if we can make that connection. That's fine. Annette Garcia, can we go to you if that's all right, please? Because I want me to acknowledge that reference there. That's fine. My phone is really buzzing away this evening. So, Annette Garcia, how interesting. I love these because all I can see is your name and I can see a big A on the screen, so I can't see anything else. So we can just work with your energy if that's all right. Annette, we're going to just bring through Dad first. We're going to make that connection. So we've got this father figure that's stepping forward. I don't know if he was the pipe smoker or his dad was the pipe smoker, but there's a really strong smell of pipe smoke. And interestingly, I live in an area that's renowned for rope making. So my conscious mind kicks in and makes things up, but I can feel like this sense about someone that used to work with ropes. I can feel it pulling through my hand. These really big, thick, old ropes. I feel the rope pulling through my hand. So I'm not pulling it, but I feel it pulling through. So it's a guide rope somehow. So I don't know what that would be. Unfortunately, my conscious mind kicks in with that and makes me think it's a boat, but I don't think it is because it feels different, the environment. So no, it has to be this father figure that's stepping forward, okay? They also talked to me as well about issues with his chest before they passed over. So they kind of give me this sense about this sensation in my chest that would want to be acknowledged, okay? So it's this sense around this cancerous condition that would take me over as well. That's fine. Okay, we'll talk about that. Who did that? So they want me to acknowledge as well about this reference and connection with this individual that's recently had a fall or a stumble in the family, because they want me to talk about this connection with that as well, because I can feel this bubble as they acknowledge that. So there's issues with someone with their mobility as well that they want me to reference. And Annette, I wonder if you've recently lost an animal as well. I wonder if there's a cat that's recently transitioned to spirit, because they want me to talk about this connection with this animal that's recently passed over. And just see it, just start on your lap, just kind of like breathing away. I think it's a cat rather than a dog. So they talk about that connection there as well. And interesting, and with all of you tonight, there's quite a lot of spirit personalities around you. So again, with you, there's this younger male energy that's around you that's kind of stepping in, stepping out, stepping in, stepping out. I can't get a grasp on him, so we'll come back to him in one moment. However, it's this father figure that they want me to acknowledge with you. Okay, so just strong, dominant character in that sense. That's fine. And for me, they talk about this connection to this really strong connection about these yellow roses that are symbolic for a female that would be in spirit as well. Okay, that's fine. Now, Annette, I need to know if it's making sense to you before we continue. So I hope it is. However, we just take a breather from those individuals there. There's a male that's come and stood next to you that's come and put his hand on your hand as he's talking to me. So when they do that, that's always acknowledgement to a husband figure that's in spirit, okay? So I don't think that's brother. I wonder if there's a husband or ex-husband partner, an ex-partner that's spirit side, because they want me to acknowledge about this other male energy that's stepping forward there as well. And I can't help but shift and shake this idea about having this individual's watch. That's fine. Okay, and then they also talked to me. Just bear with me. Just bear with me. That's fine. there's these connections to Spain as well. So either there's plans for someone to go live there, or they're looking at getting this built up, but there's that sense there as well. So no, we've not had any comments back, Sweet. So I'm going to, hopefully that makes sense to you, Sweet. So I'm going to leave that with you if that's okay. And I'm just going to say, God bless. So Richard, can we just go to the next comments if that's all right, please, sir? Was there a comment that an advert you want me to read out as well, or did I make that up, sir? Okay. So we've got Heal Your Inner Child, a meditation. So that's this Sunday, with Jess, to learn and embrace and love compassion, acceptance from within, and that's Sunday from 10 a.m. and that's on SBTV. So UK. So please, guys, if that's something you're interested in, please feel free to check it out. However, if we can go back to the readings this evening, I'd really appreciate that. And hopefully, guys, thank you for joining me this evening. Hopefully you're enjoying this. And guys, if we do pick up, please put the comments in, even if it's a little bit later on. Let's go back through that, you know. And even if they're wrong, I'd rather have 100 messages wrong and just be honest. It's about that process. This is always an experiment when we make that connection. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so let's keep going through with these if that's all right. Okay, so can we go to we'll go to Suzanne Riches if that's okay. Hi, Sweet. Can we talk to you for 1 minute, please? How interesting. I've just had, I'm a bit confused with this. Well, I could get confused, shall I say. I think this is your grandmother that's just come and sat down. So it's symbolic of that picture of those two boys there. There's just been this old lady that just come and sat down next to them and just kind of just gone, just took a bit of a breath, and she's kind of just struggling to walk around a bit. So I think this is your grandmother rather than their grandmother, sorry. So I think this is your grandmother stepping forward, and she just said to me, she just said to me, I've got that bleeding parrot with me as well. So there's this parrot that's causing, that's really noisy in the background that she wants me to acknowledge. Suzanne, she also talks, that's fine, I'll talk to you in a minute, mate. She also talks to me about the person that's changing house at the minute, that's literally just in the process of packing up and moving out, because I can hear that reference there. So I wonder if someone's had a recent breakup relationship, because there's this sense, or there's certainly this urgency about needing to move now and to go now. There's that sense there that they'd want me to acknowledge. Okay, fine. Now, interestingly, with those two children that are sat there, I can't help but feel like I need to acknowledge that there's a third child that was either a miscarriage or was lost very, very early on, because they want me to acknowledge that sense as well about there should be the third child in that picture. So they talk about that connection there with you as well. Okay, it's absolutely fine. And Suzanne, I cannot help but feel that there's a fatherly figure in spirit as well that they want me to acknowledge. So they talk about this male figure that's stepping forward that wants to be acknowledged as well. I know that as a connector, I can feel like my facial hair on my face changing and just growing slightly. So they talk about that connection there as well. Okay, that's fine. And there has to be some reference to one of those children having an interest in lightsabers, or there's been a discussion about purchasing a lightsaber for one of them in the last couple of days, because there's that reference, that connection there as well. And there's also this sense about watching one of those two children, one of those two playing football, training for football, because you can see that connection, an idea there as well. So Sweet, I'm going to leave their love with you. And Richard, doesn't look like we're getting any other comments back from Suzanne either. Yeah. So what we'll do, guys, it may be, because it may be that there may be some issues with Facebook this evening, which is fine. So we'll just move on to the next connections if that's fine. So we'll move on to the next connection if that's all right. But Suzanne, thank you ever so much for confirming that. I really, really appreciate that. Sweet. Just lots of different energies that are just coming through there. Okay, just one of the things I want to say to you guys, just as we're going through with this, just again, thank you to SVG and to Richard as well, because they give a lot of their time to be able to give platforms to myself and to other mediums as well. So just again, thank you to them, because without them, it just wouldn't be possible to do this. I appreciate that. Can we go to Matt Proctor? Is that all right? Let's go to Matt Proctor. That's fine. Matt, very, very interestingly, I've just had this guy as I saw your name, I've just had this guy just come into the room and kind of just stand there and be a bit, I mean, it's very positive, very quite gruff and quite sort of strong in his personality. I got to be honest with you, it doesn't feel like dad energy. It could well be dad energy, but I don't think it is. I wonder if it's like a friend connection or a brother connection, but really tough kind of looking guy, and he's laughing and he's pushing me as he's talking to me. Now, not in a bad way, in a playful way. So normally when they push me, that tends to be a brother connection, but he just steps forward slightly differently. But kind of see him just kind of stuck there in my mind, like kind of, again, not in a bad way, squaring up to me, just laughing and joking as he's talking to me, and he keeps pushing you as well. And he just swore, which is interesting, he laughs, and he talks about Dan as well. So he wants me to acknowledge that name as well. I think that's probably living rather than spirit. But so I wonder if you, it could well be an uncle. I don't know. It's like, forgive me for not knowing that. He's just stepped in very, very differently. That's fine. And he's got a faggot as well. So he's got a cigarette as well, sorry, using his language. Because he's go, just drawing in on the cigarette is connecting with me. So Mac, I don't think this is dad, but I wonder if it's like an uncle or a friend connection. It's someone like that. And he's been watching, I don't think he used to do the bikes and the crossers, but he's talking about crosser bikes and jumps on crosser bikes as well. And he's kind of laughing as he talks to me about that as well. So either he's been watching someone do that, but I'll mention that in a minute, mate, or there's reference to him doing that previously. So would you understand that, please, sir? That's fine. And he also says to me as well, mate, as he's talking to me about the memory link. This person didn't pass from this, but that's someone having an injury from something falling on their head. So as someone, again, it could be that he threw something at someone in a playful way and hit on their head, or there's reference to someone having an injury on the top of their head. I can feel that sensation there as well. So Matt, he's such an interesting energy. How amazing! Just a very different, very unique, very candid individual. Just very, very different. I just can't honestly, I don't know if it's brother, uncle, or friend. I can't fathom that out. But such a fascinating chat. He just said to me, I know that you're going through some stuff at the minute. So he's saying to me about how difficult things are for you at the moment as well. So he wants me to acknowledge that reference with you as well. And he's just saying to you, just stick to it and just be proud. He says to me he knows about the frustrations with the job as well. So he talks about that connection as well. Okay, so he wants me to acknowledge that with you as well. Like he's always also laughing with me as he talks to me, and I think it's probably you rather than him. But he talks about being a little bit rather mischievous when we were younger and just being a bit of a terror, and he laughs about that as well. Okay, so it's a strong, interesting personality. He knows that's fine. You can talk to me about that. He knows about someone having issues with being able to see their children at the moment as well. That's the other connection that he's making as well. Okay, so Mac, I'm going to leave that with you, buddy. And again, Rich, I wonder if we're having some issues with comments coming through. Right. Okay. So we'll move on to the next person, if that's all right, Richard, and let's see who else we can get through. But guys, honestly, I love doing SPTV. I absolutely love it. I love the platform. I love the challenge of it. I love the idea that I just don't know if the information I'm given I love that idea that it's a bit more detached. So I've not got any clues when someone sits down in front of me. I've not got any information. All I can see is that just either a very brief picture or a name, and we can just build on that as we're just going through it. It's really, really fascinating. That's fine. Okay, so let's keep going through. And just thank you all for watching as well. So let's see who okay. Let's keep going through. Can we go to we'll go to Tony Wright, if that's all right. We're going to go to Tony Wright, and then we're going to go to Stacey afterwards. So Stacey, you can just stick around if that's all right. But Tony, we're going to make. I've not spoken to Tony yet, have I? No, I haven't, have I? We're going to go to Tony first. Tony, there has to be a father figure in spirit first, because they want me to acknowledge that with them. They also talked to me about the male that had problems with alcohol as well, that they want me to acknowledge. And I don't think that's dad, I think that's another male. So can you just confirm those two things for me, sweet, as make that connection with them? The other thing that they make me do as they talk to me is they make me take a deep breath as well, and they just make me inhale, and they talk to me about trying to find focus and find sense within myself as well. So this is, acknowledgement to yourself, either starting on a meditation journey or starting on a yoga journey or doing that, because they talk about trying to manage things in a different way, in a different format. Okay, that's absolutely fine. I'll talk about that in a minute once we confirm that. So they want me to acknowledge with you as well, sweet, as they're connecting with me, that how much healing they're giving to our shoulders as well. So all down my shoulders, all up my neck, they're just giving me unbelievable amounts of healing as well as they're talking to me. Okay. They also take your hand as well. And spirit say they're guiding you, they're watching you, they're guiding you as well. Okay, that's fine. And I don't know if you've just removed some flowers from your garden, so, or you pruned the garden today, or there's reference that you should have done that and you didn't get a chance to do that. They talk about that connection as well. Okay, so lots of interesting information coming through this. That's granddad and dad's side. That's absolutely fine. So, Tony, do you understand that alcohol thing as well? Is that your reference to your granddad, or is that we just confirm dad's living or in spirit, please? Because they talk about those two. They talk about that connection with this sort of like this fatherly figure that's stepping forward. Okay, that's fine. Interestingly, Tony, I wonder if there's been a situation around you recently, and I wonder if it's rather than, could be extended family, or it could be in connection and conjunction with neighbours. And I'd rather be honest with people and be wrong than want to offend or upset anyone. There's reference to about this connection with these issues around someone recently being taken away in handcuffs as well. So there's been a situation where someone's been arrested and taken from a home environment. I'm not saying that's yourself or someone directly with you, but there's reference to having to understand that in some context. Okay, that's absolutely fine. So Tony, lots of different things going on for you. They talk about this interest in making cards as well. That's fine. So that would be that fatherly figure there, I imagine. Okay, so they talk to me about this connect. Unless that's granddad that's looking forward as that fatherly figure, that might make sense. But there's certainly this alcohol issue that's somewhere in that, going back with that. I lost my train of thought of where I was going with that. However, there's lots of different spirit energies stepping around you. Okay, and it's just about just breathing, just being focused, and about helping you and giving you that healing, that guidance as well. Okay, that's fine. Okay. That's absolutely fine. Where was we going with that? Okay. Oh, your ex. Oh, the ex was so sweet. Is the ex? Is he in spirit then, sweet? Because I couldn't work that out. So it felt like that person would be in spirit. I just couldn't fathom that bit out. If I'm being 100% honest with you, and that's why I was trying to work that out. But there's that reference there. That might be the handcuffs thing as well. I don't know. Who knows? But anyway, I'm going to leave that with you, sweet, if that's all right. It's about giving you healing. It's about giving you that direction. About giving you that hope in that direction. That sense of just knowing that spirit are with you as well. They talked to me as well about the name Lorraine. So I don't know who Lorraine is in spirit, but they talked to me about that connection as well. Okay, so sweet. And leave their love with you, if that's all right, and just say God bless. And just lots of doing this, just out of interest for people. I will keep this confidential because I'm not allowed to share things directly. How I'm allowed to talk about things in this way. I am very, very, very fortunate to work with two ladies who sit with one of the most renowned physical mediums in the whole world. And this individual is renowned and very, very well known, and it's fascinating listening to their stories. So that once they sit and they do their physical phenomena with him, I do meditation with them, and I cannot tell you just how interconnected all this spirit stuff is. All those different physical mediums, all those mediums from long ago, and how they all work together still. It's absolutely fascinating. It's such an interesting topic and insight. And for those that don't know about physical mediumship, I would encourage you to go away and look into it. Particularly things like the skull experiment and some of those other older traditional physical mediums. Just fascinating, just interesting work. And it's such a blessing to listen to their stories. But Richard, can we go on to the next comments, please, sir, if that's all right? Oh yeah, that's absolutely right. I should have wrote down what I wanted to say today, so that's fine. Just bear with me. Okay, Stacey, we're going to work psychically with you for one moment, if that's okay. Because it's almost like I just want to stop everything I'm doing and just take hold of you and just say to you, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. Okay, it's about feeling overwhelmed at the minute. It's about feeling anxious. It's about feeling not in control. Okay, so for me, that's about changes that are going on around us. Okay, it's a sense around just it's almost like things are snowballed around us. We've just got so much going on around us at the minute. Okay, yeah, I wonder if you've got a younger boy that lives with you as well, because they talked to me about this sense around trying to get that help and support for this child, or there's been not having the support that we need from wider people to work with us in that sense. Okay, so there's this sense around as well that people will describe as reactive or sort of direct, and that's okay, but it's important to acknowledge about how those people interact with us and how people at times make us react as well. Okay, so there's just all this psychic stuff just going on around me, just my mind is just spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning as they're talking to me. Okay, that's fine, just go with that again. Okay, and it's just a sense of just taking a breather, just taking a step back and just making a plan and just going through things one step at a time. Okay, certainly got this grandfather figure that steps forward on one side that just comes and puts his hand on your shoulder and he just whispers in my ear. I'll say that, mate, in one moment. He just says to me, I'm guiding you, I'm directing you, I'm guiding you, I'm directing you. Okay, that's fine. I don't know if this is a sense that you're looking, it's almost like up and leave, just go and just get away, because there's a sense around just that as well that they need me to convey to you as well. Okay, that's fine. Stacey, whether or not you're going to go work with people that have been through domestic violence, or you're looking at going into social work, or there's reference to, but there's this sense around this idea that we're looking at going into that sort of working as well. Okay, so I just feel like things have just been really tough for us recently and really just a bit difficult, and I just wanted to acknowledge that around you. Okay, your grandmother, bless her, steps forward on mum's side of the family. She just whispered the name Joy to me as well, so she talks about that being a significant name as well. Okay, and Stacey, I'm going to be really honest with you, that stuff around relationships that are difficult and tense, that is something that just keeps coming back into my mind, and I can't work out why, but it is that really strong sense. So sweet, I'm going to leave that with you if that's okay. Honestly, I think the thing that caught me earlier, just going back to what I'd originally caught my attention, I think I could see you crying, and it was that sense there that I could just, spirit could just see what was going on for you. Okay, and I wonder, being 100% honest with you, and this would make sense a little bit more in my mind, because when I spoke to a lady a moment ago, this thing about the handcuffs, which might be relevant to her, but as I think about people, I think about her there, and this thing was really detached my mind. So I wonder if that handcuffs thing is around someone that's been escorted away in relation to you as well. It may be that, it may be both, but who knows? Anyway, basically, I'll leave that lovely this week and just say God bless. And Richard, please may go to the next ones. Yeah, that's fine. We'll go to Suzanne Ria, if that's okay. Ria, hi, good evening, Ray. Ria, that's fine. Oh, Suzanne, I just want to make that connection with you straight away. Hi, sweet. I've got this male that steps forward on that side of the family, so we're going to bring father-in-laws through. Father first, sorry, just spirit through. But I think mother-in-law's in spirit as well. You can see me almost shivering because it's her energy that's just stepping forward. Okay, they're excited about this idea about the big birthday. So either there's a big birthday for someone that's due at this moment in time that's already in spirit, or we're planning this big party and this celebration. Okay, that's fine. I don't think it's mum. I think it's mother-in-law. She's in a very jestful way. She's quite critical about what you do in the house. She's saying, I don't understand why she does it like that. Why is she cutting them like that? They need to be cut like this. So it's, I wonder if there's either a memory link of someone collecting onions and collecting things from the family environment, or whether we've been doing that same, we've been chopping lots of onions. There's just something about that that's really significant. Okay, she's critical as well, and again, a very jestful sense about how we get into the house as well. So I don't know if you're having a ramp put in their house or there's reference to plans for that, but she's just saying, I don't understand how they can get into the house. So there's that acknowledgement there that they talk to me about as well. Okay, she's a very gentle, very beautiful lady, and I can feel it's like this stiffness in my hand as she's talking to me. So she places her hand on yours, and it's almost like she's trying to guide you and give you that direction as well. Okay, that's fine. I can't help but feel as a father-in-law figure in spirit as well that they want me to acknowledge. And they talk about Craig or Carl Craig. It's this reference to that name that's significant in that sense as well. Okay, so lots of different energies coming forward for you. Honestly, this mother-in-law figure, she's hilarious. She keeps pulling on my ear as she's talking to me. It's quite a strong connection in that sense as well. So Susan, I'm going to leave that with you if that's a very brief message, but it's just around these different things that are going on in the home environment. I think from what I can gather with that, I think someone's got mobility issues at the minute, or there's reference to someone struggling to be able to get in the house and people that are looking at doing that, or because we haven't worked in the garden, there's just a massive skip there and we can't get on the drive. It is something like that. It's one of those two things. I just can't fathom that out. So sweet, I'm going to leave that with you if that's okay. And I'm just going to say, God bless. And Richard, rather than perhaps squeezing another message, I think I'm going to just draw it to a close if that's all right. So I'm going to say thank you to everyone for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this evening. Please follow the page. Just a massive thank you to SPTV and Richard and everyone else behind the scenes. I'm forever grateful for the platform that they give us. So I say God bless and just hope you all enjoy your evening. Good night.